Kicked out at 17 with just 12 and a trash bag. Now my family wants to live in my $750,000 home after years of silence and lies. My parents didn't even give me the dignity of a suitcase. At 17, 3 weeks before graduation, my dad threw a black heavy-duty trash bag onto the driveway. Inside was a pair of jeans, 3 shirts, and my grandfather's old wash. You're a drain on this family, Leo, he sat, standing in the doorway while my mother looked at her cuticles. Since you want to be a man and question my rules, go find out how expensive being a man is. I had $12 in my pocket and a GPA. That didn't matter anymore because I had nowhere to sleep. They kicked me out because I found out my dad was dipping into the college fund my late aunt left for me. When I confronted him, he called it rent for the 17 years he wasted raising me. I spent that first night behind a dumpster at a 24-hour gym. The smell of old sweat and garbage is something you never forget. It becomes the fuel. For the next 10 years, I became a ghost. I worked 3 jobs. I slept on floors. I taught myself to code in public libraries. I didn't go to parties. I didn't date. I just built. I lived on ramen and pure, unadulterated spite. Every time my muscles ached or my eyes burned from the screen, I'd look at that $12 bill I'd framed, the last bit of mercy my father ever showed me. Now I'm 28. I own a boutique cybersecurity firm. More importantly, I own a $750,000 modern, industrial home on the outskirts of the city. It's all glass, steel, and silence. No one knew where I was until my sister Sarah found my LinkedIn. The silence was broken by a frantic phone call 3 weeks ago. Leo, oh my god, Leo, is it really you? Sarah was crying. She told me the family legacy had crumbled. My dad's investments, the ones he stole my money for, had gone bust. The house was being foreclosed on. They were 3 weeks away from being on the street. We're so proud of you, she said, her voice shaking. We saw the pictures of your place. It's huge. Mom's been crying, saying how much she misses her son. I felt nothing. No anger. Just a cold clinical curiosity. What do you want, Sarah? We need a place to stay. Just for a few months. He's humbled, Leo. He's a changed man. We can move into your guest wing on Friday? I didn't say no. I told her I'd think about it. Yesterday, I invited them over for dinner to discuss the arrangements. They showed up in a beat-up sedan, looking a decade older. My father tried to hug me. I stepped back and held out my hand for a formal shake. His hand was trembling. Nice place, son, he whispered, looking at the vaulted ceilings. I always knew you had that spark. The lies tasted like ash. We sat in my dining room. I served them expensive steak and wine they couldn't pronounce. My mother kept touching the marble countertops. Leo, she said, there's plenty of room here. We can help with the cleaning, the gardening. It's only right that family sticks together when things get hard. I wiped my mouth with a silk napkin. You're right, Mom. Family is everything. My father exhaled, his shoulders finally dropping. Thank God, I'll start moving the boxes tomorrow. Wait, I said. I reached under the table and pulled out a heavy-duty black trash bag. I set it on the table next to the $100 bottle of wine. The room went dead silent. What's this? My dad asked, his face paling. It's your welcome package, I replied. I reached into my pocket and pulled out 12 single dollars. I fanned them out on the table like a winning poker hand. 10 years ago, you told me I was a drain. You told me to find out how expensive it is to be a man. I leaned in, my voice dropping to a whisper. I've done the math. This house? It's built on the rent you stole from me. The silence you gave me for a decade? That was the best gift I ever received. Leo, please, my mother sobbed. We have nowhere to go. I know, I said. I've been there, behind a gym. It builds character, remember? I stood up and opened the front door. The cold night air rushed in. You can take the bag. It's sturdy. Great for carrying what's left of your pride. My father stood up, his face turning a dark, ugly purple. You're going to let your own blood sleep in a car after everything we did for you? You didn't do anything for me, I said, my voice like ice. You gave me $12 in a trash bag. I'm just returning the investment with interest. I watched them walk down my driveway. My father was carrying the empty trash bag. My mother was wailing. I didn't feel guilty. I didn't feel sad. I went back inside, locked my $750,000 door, and enjoyed the most expensive silence money can buy.